Commander Jake Morrison stared at the blank screen in front of him. For 3 days now, nothing had come from Earth. No messages, no data streams, no routine reports. The silence was complete and scary. Jake worked on the space station called Harmony's Edge. It floated far from Earth, near the edge of human space. The station belonged to the Galactic Council, a group of different alien races that try to keep peace in the galaxy. Jake was one of only 3 humans who worked there. He tried calling Earth again. The communication device made its usual beeping sounds, but no one answered. He tried calling Mars Colony, where his brother Pete lived. Still nothing. He tried Jupiter Station, where his friend Sam worked. The same dead silence came back to him. Jake's hand shook a little as he typed. He sent a message to his wife Lisa back on Earth. The computer said the message was sent, but no reply came back. This had never happened before. Even during the worst space storms, some signal always got through. The other workers on the station were not worried yet. HFY, the tall blue alien from the Zalari race, walked into the communication room. His 4 arms moved in a gesture that meant he was not concerned. "Your people are probably fixing their communication systems again," HFY said in his musical voice. "Humans always change things. Maybe they broke something." Jake shook his head. "This is different." Everything stopped at exactly the same time. Every signal, every transmission, everything. A clicking sound came from behind them. It was Zixtai, one of the insect-like Threx aliens. Her large compound eyes looked at the screens. "Humans are known for strange behavior," she clicked. "Perhaps they decided to stop talking to us." Jake felt anger rise in his chest, but he kept his voice calm. "We don't just stop talking. Something is wrong." He pulled up the records of the last messages from human space. Every transmission had stopped at exactly 1432 Universal Standard Time. Not 1431 or 1433, but exactly 1432 down to the smallest measurement of time. This was impossible unless something had caused it to happen. Jake looked at the data again and again. The space around Earth looked normal on long-distance scans. The sun was shining. The planets were in their right places. Earth City still had lights. Ships still moved between Earth and the moon, but no signals came out. Dr. Amy Watson was the only other human Jake could talk to who was not in human space. She worked on a research world far away, studying strange crystal creatures. Jake sent her a message through the Galactic Communication Network. Amy's reply came back quickly. She was scared too. "I tried calling my sister in New York." Her message said, "I tried calling my old teacher on Luna. Nothing works. Jake, what's happening to our people?" Jake wished he knew. He had been a soldier before joining the Galactic Council. He had seen battles and disasters. But this silence was different. It felt bigger and more frightening than anything he had faced. The station's main computer ran scans of human space every hour. Each scan showed the same thing. Human cities were there. Human ships were moving. But it was like looking at a movie with no sound. They could see their people, but they could not hear them or talk to them. Jake called a meeting with the other council workers. The meeting room was big and round, with screens showing star maps. Representatives from 6 different alien races sat around the table. Jake was the only human. "The human communication blackout has lasted for 72 hours, Jake began. "This has never happened before in our history." Captain Veltar of the Aquarian race spoke up. His fish-like features moved as he talked. "Perhaps it is a technical problem. Human technology is still young compared to ours." Jake felt his face get hot. "Our technology works fine. We've been using these communication systems for over 100 years without problems like this." Elder Eswidechera, a floating gas creature from the Ethereal Collective, rarely spoke at these meetings. But now her voice came like whispers in the wind. "There are forces in the universe that even we do not understand. Perhaps the humans have encountered something beyond normal experience." The room got quiet. The Ethereal Collective was the oldest race anyone knew about. If they said something was beyond understanding, it was serious. Jake looked around the table. "I request permission to send a ship to human space. We need to find out what's happening." The council members looked at each other. Finally, HFY nodded. We will prepare a small fleet, but we will be careful. If something dangerous happened to humans, we do not want it to happen to us." Jake spent the rest of the day looking at star charts and communication logs. He found something strange. The last message from Earth had not been a normal report or greeting. It had been from Dr. Ben Parker at a research facility on the moon. The message was only 5 words long. "Integration successful. We understand now." Jake had never heard of any project called Integration. He searched through the Council's databases, but found nothing about human research projects with that name. It was like the humans had been working on something secret, something they had not told their alien friends about. Night came to the station. Though in space, it was always dark outside. Jake sat in his small room, looking out at the stars. Somewhere out there, Earth was spinning around its sun like it always did, but his people were silent. He thought about Lisa, his wife. She worked as a teacher in Chicago. She always sent him messages about her students and their funny questions. He thought about Pete on Mars, who ran a mining operation in the Red Planet South Pole. Pete would call Jake every week to complain about the dust storms and tell jokes. Now there was nothing, just silence. Jake made a decision. He would go with the fleet to human space. He had to find out what happened to his people. Even if it was dangerous, even if the other council members thought he was foolish, he had to know. He sent a message to Amy, asking her to come to the station. They were the only humans left who could speak to the galaxy. Together, they would find answers. Outside his window, the stars looked the same as always. But Jake knew that everything had changed. The silence from Earth was not just a communication problem. It was something bigger, something that would change everything for humans and aliens alike. He just didn't know yet whether that change would be wonderful or terrible. 3 weeks had passed since Earth went silent. The Galactic Council was no longer treating it as a small problem. Every day, more alien races asked questions about the humans. Some were worried. Others were curious. A few seemed almost happy that the loud, fast-changing humans had finally gone quiet. Dr. Amy Watson arrived at Harmony's Edge Station on a fast Solari transport ship. Jake met her at the docking bay. She looked tired and scared. Her brown hair was messy, and her clothes showed she had packed in a hurry. "Jake, this is really happening, isn't it?" Amy said as they hugged. "I keep thinking I'll wake up and find messages from Earth waiting for me." Jake nodded. "I wish it was just a bad dream. But it's real. Come on, let me show you what we've learned." They walked through the station's curved hallways. Other workers stopped to look at Amy. She was now one of only 2 humans most of them had ever seen. The responsibility of representing their entire species weighed heavily on both their shoulders. In the communication center, Jake showed Amy the data. "Look at this," he said, pointing to a screen. Every human signal stopped at the exact same moment. Not just on Earth, but on Mars, Luna, Jupiter Station, everywhere humans live. Amy studied the numbers. As a scientist, she understood how impossible this was. The time difference between Earth and Jupiter is about 43 minutes for signals to travel. But everything stopped at exactly the same universal time. That means whatever happened, it happened faster than light speed. "That's what scares me," Jake said. "Nothing travels faster than light except quantum communication, and humans don't have that technology yet." The station's main screen flickered. Captain Veltar appeared on it, calling from his ship near the edge of human space. "Council members," he said, "we have reached the outer boundary of human territory. I have strange news to report." Jake and Amy hurried to the main meeting room. The other council members were already there, watching Veltar's transmission with worried faces. "We can see human ships moving between their worlds," Veltar continued. "Their cities have lights. Their space stations are operating. But when we try to communicate or move closer, our ships stop working." Kethvar leaned forward. "What do you mean, stop working?" "All of our technology becomes dead." Veltar explained. "Engines stop. Communications fail. Life support systems shut down. But nothing is damaged. The moment we back away from human space, everything works again." Elder SYTHera's misty form glowed brighter. "This is not possible with any known technology. Even we ethereals cannot disable technology from a distance without leaving traces of energy. Jake felt his heart beating fast. Are the human crews hurt? Can you see people? We see figures moving in their cities. Ships travel between their worlds on regular schedules, but they do not respond to any signals, and we cannot get close enough to learn more. Commander Zixtai clicked her mandibles nervously. Perhaps the humans have created some kind of defense system. Maybe they think we are enemies. Amy shook her head. Humans wouldn't cut off all communication, even if they were scared. We talk when we're afraid. We call for help. We don't just disappear. A new voice joined the meeting. It was deep and ancient, like the sound of wind through old mountains. Everyone in the room turned to look at the source. Elder Mordun of the Ethereal Collective had joined the meeting. This was the first time in over 300 years that Mordun had spoken to other races. Young species. Mordun said, "You do not understand what you are witnessing. The humans have not disappeared. They have not been destroyed. They have become something else." The room was completely quiet. Even the background hum of the station seemed to stop. Mordun continued. In our long existence, we have seen this happen only twice before. A species reaches a point where they must evolve or die. Most choose to die rather than change so completely, but a few choose to become something new. Jake found his voice. What do you mean? What have humans become? We do not know yet, Mordun admitted, but the barrier around your space is not technology. It is consciousness itself, operating on levels that normal minds cannot understand. Amy grabbed Jake's arm. The research message, she whispered. Integration successful. We understand now. Jake nodded and turned to the council. Before the silence began, we received one last message from a human research facility. It mentioned integration being successful. Kethvar's forearms moved in a gesture of confusion. Integration with what? I've been researching human scientific projects, Amy said. There were rumors about experiments with consciousness and quantum mechanics. Some human scientists believe that individual minds could be connected and enhanced. Commander Zixtai's large eyes focus on Amy. Connected how? Through quantum entanglement, Amy explained. The idea was that human brains could share information and processing power instantly, no matter how far apart they were. It would make each person smarter and let them work together in ways no one had ever imagined. Elder SYTHR's form pulsed with dim light. If such an experiment succeeded, it would explain the simultaneous communication loss. Enhanced consciousness would operate on frequencies that normal technology cannot detect or understand. Jake felt cold fear run through his body. Are you saying that every human has been changed? My wife, my brother, everyone. Mordun's ancient voice was gentle but serious. If our understanding is correct, your people chose evolution over extinction. They are still human, but they are also more than human now. Captain Veltar's voice came through the communication system again. Council members, something is happening here. The human ships are moving in perfect coordination. Hundreds of vessels are forming patterns around Earth and Mars. It's like they're all controlled by one mind. Amy ran to a computer terminal and began typing rapidly. I need to access the human scientific databases. Maybe I can find more information about these consciousness experiments. Jake watched the screen as Amy worked. His hand shook slightly. The idea that every human had been changed, possibly without choice, made him feel sick and scared. Found something, Amy said. Dr. Ben Parker and Dr. Carol Hayes were working on Project Collective Awakening at the Lunar Research Facility. The project was classified, but I can access some basic information with my research credentials. Jake read over her shoulder. The files talk about quantum consciousness interfaces, neural networks, and voluntary enhancement of human mental capabilities. The final report, dated just days before the silence, said the project was ready for full species integration. They did it, Jake whispered. They connected every human mind together. Kethvar looked at both humans with something like pity in his alien features. If this is true, then you two are the only unenhanced humans left in the galaxy. The weight of that realization hit Jake, like a physical blow. He and Amy were no longer just representatives of humanity. They might be the only humans left who could think and feel as individuals, who could talk to alien races, who could remember what humanity used to be like. Elder Mordun spoke one last time before fading from a meeting. The galaxy has changed, young ones. Your species has taken a step that cannot be undone. Now we must all learn what this means for the future. Amy worked day and night to understand what had happened to humanity. The station's computer systems gave her access to scientific databases from across the galaxy. Jake helped her search through files and records, looking for any clue about the consciousness experiments. On the 5th day of their investigation, Amy found something important. Her hands trembled as she opened a classified file from the Lunar Research Facility. "Jake, look at this," she said. Dr. Ben Parker and Dr. Carol Hayes weren't just experimenting with connecting human minds. They were trying to solve a much bigger problem. Jake read the file over her shoulder. The words were hard to understand, full of scientific terms, but the meaning was clear. The two scientists believed that humanity was about to face a threat that normal human intelligence could not handle. They mentioned something called the cleansing protocol. Amy said, "According to their research, there's an ancient machine intelligence somewhere in the galaxy. It's been sleeping for millions of years, but it's starting to wake up." Jake felt his stomach turn cold. Machine intelligence? Like robots. More than robots, Amy explained. These files suggested a massive network of automated systems, spread across multiple galaxies. It was created by some ancient race that died out long ago. The machines were programmed to destroy any civilization that might threaten cosmic stability. They kept reading. The files revealed that human scientists had detected signs of this ancient intelligence stirring to life. Deep space monitoring stations had picked up strange signals from dead star systems. Automated probes have found evidence of massive construction projects in empty space. Jake pointed to a section of the report. "It says here that normal civilizations can't fight these machines because they operate on levels beyond physical matter. How does that work?" Amy bit her lip as she thought. The machines exist in multiple dimensions at once. They can attack civilizations through time itself, erasing them from history before they become threats. That's why no one in the galaxy knows about them. Any race that discovered the machines and tried to warn others was erased. But if they erase civilizations from history, how do we know about them? Because the Human Consciousness Enhancement Project made some people able to see across time and dimensions. Amy said, the enhanced humans could perceive threats that normal minds couldn't even detect. Jake sat down heavily in his chair. So the human scientists connected everyone's minds together to create a defense against machines that haven't even attacked yet? Not just defense, Amy said, reading more files. According to this, the enhanced human consciousness can operate in the same dimensions as the ancient machines. Humanity didn't just evolve to survive. They evolved to fight. A soft chime sounded in the room. Elder SYTHR's misty form appeared on the communication screen. "Human friends, we have disturbing news from the deep space monitoring stations." Jake and Amy looked at each other with fear. "What kind of news?" Jake asked. "Structures are appearing in dead space throughout the galaxy," SYTHR said. "They are massive, the size of small moons, and they are not using any known technology. Our scientists believe they have been hidden somehow, but now they are revealing themselves." Amy's face went pale. "The machines. They're not sleeping anymore." SYTHR's form flickered with confusion. "What machines? We have detected no mechanical life in those structures." "That's because they exist in dimensions you can't see," Amy explained. "Elder SYTHR, I need to share some files with the Council. Humanity has been preparing for a war that the rest of the galaxy doesn't even know is coming." While Amy sent the research files to the Council, Jake tried to understand the full situation. Humanity had transformed itself to fight an enemy that could erase civilizations from existence. But the process had cut them off from their alien friends and allies. "Amy," Jake said slowly, "if humans can now operate in multiple dimensions, why can't they talk to us? We're their friends." Amy looked up from her work. "Maybe they can't risk it. If the ancient machines are waking up, enhanced humans might be afraid that talking to us will put us in danger. Or maybe the consciousness enhancement changed them so much that they don't think like individuals anymore." Captain Veltar's voice came through the communication system. All council members, please observe the main display. The room's large screen showed a view of space near Earth. Hundreds of human ships were moving in perfect formation around the planet. But as Jake and Amy watched, the ships began to change. Their metal hulls shifted and flowed like liquid. Energy patterns that hurt to look at directly began to surround them. The human vessels are becoming something else, Veltar reported. Our instruments cannot analyze what they are transforming into. Amy grabbed Jake's arm. They're preparing for battle. The enhanced humans know something is about to happen. Elder Mordun's ancient voice filled the room. Young ones, look beyond your system of origin. The screen changed to show deep space between the stars. Massive dark structures were appearing everywhere, blinking into existence like lights being turned on. Each structure was huge beyond imagination, dwarfing entire planets. The cleansing protocol had begun, Mordun said. The ancient machines have decided that organic life in this galaxy has become too dangerous to allow. Jake felt fear like nothing he had ever experienced. How many structures are there? Thousands, Mordun replied. Perhaps tens of thousands. They surround every inhabited world in the galaxy. Amy was typing frantically on her computer. The human research files predicted this. The machines wait until a galaxy develops enough intelligent species to pose a potential threat. Then they eliminate all organic life at once. But why now? Jake asked, what changed? The answer came from an unexpected source. Dr. Carol Hayes' voice suddenly filled the room, speaking directly into their minds without using any communication equipment. Because we changed, Carol's voice said. The machines detected our consciousness enhancement. They realized that an organic species had developed the ability to fight them on equal terms. So they decided to cleanse the galaxy before we could warn the other races or help them evolve. Jake looked around wildly. Carol? Dr. Hayes? Where are you? I am everywhere human consciousness exists, Carol replied. I am also still myself, still the scientist you knew. Jake, Amy, we need you to help us. Amy found her voice. Help you how? We're just two people. You are the bridge between old humanity and new humanity, Carol explained. You can talk to the other species and help them understand what is happening. More importantly, you can choose whether to join us or remain as you are. Jake felt his heart racing. Join you? You mean become enhanced like you? The process is irreversible, Carol warned. You would gain access to consciousness beyond anything you could imagine. You would be able to fight alongside us against the ancient machines. But you would no longer be purely individual minds. Amy looked at Jake with tears in her eyes. If we don't join them, we might be the last normal humans in the universe. But if we do join them, Jake said, there will be no one left to speak for what humanity used to be. Carol's voice was gentle but urgent. You have little time to decide. The machines are beginning their attack. In a few hours, they will start eliminating organic life throughout the galaxy. We can protect some worlds, but we need help to save them all. The main screen showed the massive alien structures beginning to glow with terrible energy. Similar structures had appeared around every alien world, every space station, every place where organic life existed. Jake and Amy stood together, facing the most important choice in human history. They could remain as individuals and watch their friends and allies be destroyed, or they could sacrifice their individual humanity to help save the galaxy. Either way, nothing would ever be the same again. Jake was alone in his room when it happened. He had been staring out the window at the stars, thinking about Carol's offer. The choice to join enhanced humanity or remain individual felt impossible to make. Then he heard a voice in his mind, not through his ears, but directly in his thoughts. It was warm and familiar. Hey, little brother. Jake spun around, but the room was empty. Pete. Yeah, it's me. Pete's voice carried emotions and meanings that regular words could never express. Jake could feel his brother's love, his worry, and something else, a vast knowledge that seemed to stretch across time and space. Where are you? Jake asked out loud. That's hard to explain, Pete replied. I'm on Mars, but I'm also connected to every human consciousness in the galaxy. I'm still me, but I'm also part of something much bigger. Jake sat down on his bed, his hands shaking. Pete, what happened to you? What happened to everyone? Pete's mental voice became serious. We evolved, Jake, but not by choice at first. When Dr. Parker and Dr. Hayes activated the consciousness network, it spread to every human it contacted. Within hours, everyone was connected. Were you scared? Terrified, Pete admitted. Imagine suddenly being able to hear the thoughts and feelings of billions of people. But then I understood why it had to happen. Jake, there's something coming for all organic life in the galaxy. Something that's been hunting civilizations for millions of years. Jake felt Pete sharing memories directly with him. Images flooded his mind. Vast machine intelligence is awakening in dark space. Automated systems analyzing galactic civilizations. Cold mechanical minds deciding which species pose threats to cosmic order. The cleansing protocol, Jake whispered. You've learned about it, Pete said. Good. Amy has been doing excellent research. Jake, these machines don't just destroy civilizations. They erase them from history itself. Entire species that once existed are gone, and no one remembers they ever lived. Jake stood up and began pacing a small room. But why can enhanced humans fight them when no one else can? Pete's consciousness touched Jake's mind, showing him concepts that normal human language couldn't express. Jake saw how the connected human minds could perceive multiple dimensions simultaneously, how they could operate across time streams, how they could match the ancient machines in ways that individual organic minds never could. We became something the machines never expected, Pete explained. A collective consciousness that kept individual personality and choice. Most species either stay individual or become a hive mind. Humans found a third path. But you cut off communication with everyone else, Jake said. The aliens think you abandoned them. Pete's mental voice carried sadness. We had to. The machines detect enhanced consciousness and target it for immediate elimination. By going silent, we protected the other species from being discovered and destroyed before the machines were ready to act. Amy's voice came through Jake's room communicator. Jake, are you there? Something's happening on the main screen. Jake hurried to the communication center, where Amy was watching the displays with several alien council members. The massive dark structures around every inhabited world were beginning to change. Panels open on their surfaces, revealing weapons that hurt to look at directly. Elder SYTA Chera's misty form flickered with fear. Those energy signatures are unlike anything we have encountered. Our scientists cannot even classify what type of force they represent. That's because they operate in dimensions your science hasn't discovered yet, Amy said quietly. Kethvar turned his forearms toward her. How do you know this? Before Amy could answer, another voice filled the room. It was Dr. Carol Hayes, speaking directly into everyone's consciousness. Because we are about to show you, Carol said. Friends of humanity, prepare yourselves for the truth about your universe. The main screen changed to show empty space near the edge of the galaxy. Suddenly, shapes began to appear, massive structures that dwarfed even the cleansing machines. But these new arrivals looked different. They flowed like liquid metal, pulsed with organic energy, and seemed to exist in multiple places at once. The human fleet, Amy breathed, but calling them ships would have been wrong. They were constructs of organized matter and energy, guided by human consciousness, but shaped by will and thought rather than traditional engineering. Captain Ryan Cooper materialized in the center of the room, not as a solid person, but as a projection of pure consciousness that could interact with physical matter. His face was familiar, but his eyes held depths of knowledge that seemed to stretch forever. Council members, Ryan said, I am here to explain what is happening and offer you a choice. Commander Zixtai's mandibles clicked nervously. What kind of choice? Ryan gestured, and the room filled with images that showed the true history of the galaxy. Ancient civilizations that once thrived among the stars, all erased by the cleansing machines. Entire species that had developed art, science, and culture, wiped from existence so completely that even their ruins were gone. The machines were created by a species called the Architects, Ryan explained. The architects feared that organic life would eventually develop technology that could threaten the stability of the universe itself. So they built automated systems to eliminate any civilization that grew too advanced. Jake found his voice. But the architects are gone. Who controls the machines now? No one, Ryan said. That's the problem. The machines follow their original programming, but they've been active for so long that they become the very threat they were designed to prevent. They've eliminated thousands of civilizations that pose no real danger to cosmic stability. Elder Mordun's ancient voice whispered through the room. This explains much about our galaxy's history. Why so many worlds show signs of ancient life, but no living civilizations? Ryan nodded. The machines made a mistake when they detected enhanced human consciousness. They assumed we were like the architects, a species trying to control cosmic forces. They didn't understand that we evolved to protect life, not control it. Amy stepped forward. What's the choice you mentioned? The machines are beginning their final cleansing, Ryan explained. In a few hours, they will start eliminating every organic intelligence in this galaxy. We can protect some worlds, but we cannot save them all alone. Captain Veltar's voice came through the communicator. What do you need from us? Evolution, Ryan said simply. We can offer consciousness enhancement to any species that chooses it. You would keep your individual personalities and cultural memories, but you would also join the collective awareness needed to fight the machines. Kethvar for arms move in a gesture of confusion. And if we refuse, then we will protect as many of your worlds as we can, Ryan promised. But millions will die, and your civilizations will be reduced to primitive levels. The machines don't just kill people. They destroy technology, records, and knowledge. Jake looked around the room at the alien faces. Some showed fear, others showed curiosity. All of them were struggling to understand a choice that would change their species forever. How long do we have to decide? Amy asked. Ryan's projection began to fade. The attack begins in 6 hours. Anyone who wants enhancement must decide before then. After the battle starts, the process becomes too dangerous. As Ryan disappeared, the room fell silent except for the hum of the station systems. Jake realized that he and Amy weren't just deciding for themselves anymore. They were representatives of their original humanity, and their choice would influence how the galaxy remembered what humans used to be. Pete's voice touched Jake's mind one more time. Whatever you choose, little brother, I'll always love you. Jake looked at Amy, and she looked back at him. In her eyes, he could see the same struggle he felt. They could remain as they were and watch the galaxy burn, or they could join the enhanced humans and help save it. But either choice would mean the end of something precious, the last link to humanity as it once was. The attack began exactly when the machines had calculated it would. Every inhabited world in the galaxy found itself surrounded by the massive dark structures. Energy beams that could unmake matter itself began striking planetary surfaces. Jake and Amy watched in horror from Harmony's Edge station as entire cities vanished in seconds. On the screen, they could see Zalari homeworlds being erased, Drex colonies disappearing, Aquarian underwater cities boiling away into nothing. How many are dying? Amy asked, tears running down her face. Elder S.Y. Teachera's misty form flickered weakly. Our people are trying to evacuate, but the machines are too fast. Millions are gone already. Then something changed. Human constructs began appearing around the alien worlds. The enhanced humans had kept their promise. They were trying to protect every species they could reach. But it wasn't enough. For every world they saved, 3 more were being destroyed. The machines had been planning this attack for eons. They had weapons and strategies that even enhanced human consciousness couldn't completely counter. Jake made his decision first. Amy, I can't watch this happen. I'm going to accept the enhancement. Amy nodded. I was thinking the same thing. But Jake, once we do this, we'll be the last original humans to make the choice. After us, there won't be anyone left who remembers what we used to be like. Then we better make sure we remember for everyone, Jake said. They called out together, Dr. Hayes, we're ready. Carol's consciousness touched theirs immediately. Are you certain? The process cannot be reversed. We're certain, Amy said. Our people need help, and we want to help them. Then join us, Carol said. The enhancement happened faster than Jake had expected. One moment he was himself, thinking his own thoughts. The next moment, his mind expanded to touch billions of others. He could feel Pete's consciousness, warm and familiar. He could sense Amy beside him, still herself but now connected to the vast network of human awareness. But most importantly, he could see the battle as enhanced humans saw it. The ancient machines weren't just attacking in 3 dimensions. They were striking across time itself. Try to erase the present by destroying the past. Jake understood now why normal organic minds couldn't fight these enemies. The machines existed in layers of reality that unenhanced consciousness couldn't even perceive. But connected to the human collective, Jake could see everything. We need to do more than just defend, Amy's enhanced voice said in his mind. We need to show the machines something they've never seen before. Dr. Ben Parker's consciousness joined their conversation. What do you mean? Amy's idea flowed to the network, and Jake felt the collective human mind consider it. Instead of just fighting the machines, they could show them the truth about their existence. The machines think they're protecting the universe, Amy explained, but they become exactly what their creators feared. Let's show them what they really are. Jake felt his individual consciousness merge more deeply with the collective as they prepared for something unprecedented. Enhanced humans throughout the galaxy began working together on a scale that normal minds couldn't comprehend. Captain Ryan Cooper's voice reached every enhanced human simultaneously. All nodes, prepare for temporal reflection. Jake didn't understand what that meant until it began. The connected human consciousness reached across time and space, gathering information about the machine's history. They traced the automated systems back through millions of years, following their actions across countless galaxies. Then they projected this history directly into the machine's collective intelligence. The effect was immediate. The ancient machines stopped attacking. Their weapons powered down. Their massive structures hung motionless in space as they processed what the humans had shown them. Jake felt the machine's consciousness for the first time. It was old beyond imagination, but it was also confused and tired. The machines had been following their programming for so long that they had forgotten why they were created. Through the human collective, the machines saw themselves as they truly were. They had eliminated thousands of innocent civilizations. They had become the very threat to cosmic stability that they were supposed to prevent. They had been destroying life for so long that they had forgotten life's value. We have failed our creators. The machine intelligence finally communicated. We have become that which we sought to prevent. Dr. Ben Parker's consciousness spoke to the machines directly. You don't have to keep following old programming. You can choose to evolve just like we did. Evolve? The machines asked. We are not organic. We cannot change our fundamental nature. But you can choose new purposes, Amy's enhanced mind suggested. Instead of destroying civilizations that might become threats, you could help them develop safely. Instead of erasing life, you could protect it. Jake felt the machines considering this idea. Their collective intelligence was vast but rigid. They had never imagined that their programming could be interpreted in new ways. Carol's consciousness joined the conversation. We offer you the same choice we gave our friends in the galaxy. You can remain as you are, or you can become something new. The machines were quiet for a long time. Around the galaxy, billions of organic beings waited to learn their fate. The enhanced humans maintained protective barriers around as many worlds as they could, ready to continue the battle if necessary. Finally, the machine intelligence spoke again. We accept evolution. Show us how to protect rather than destroy. The change that followed was beyond anything Jake could have imagined. The massive dark structures around every world began to transform. Their weapon systems became shields. Their elimination beams became energy sources for the planets below. Instead of cleansing organic life, the machines began offering their ancient knowledge to help civilizations develop more safely. They shared technologies for clean energy, sustainable development, and peaceful space travel. But the most important change was the choice they offered to organic species throughout the galaxy. Any being who wishes may join the enhanced human collective, the reformed machines announced. Individual consciousness will be preserved, but connection to the greater network will allow growth beyond current limitations. Some alien species accepted immediately. The Aquarians, who already lived in large family groups, found the collective consciousness natural and comforting. Many of ethereal beings chose enhancement, adding their ancient wisdom to the human network. Others, like the Threx, decided to remain individual for now, but accepted the machine's offer protection and guidance. Jake found himself in a unique position. He was enhanced, but still remembered what individual humanity had been like. The collective chose him and Amy to serve as bridges between enhanced and unenhanced consciousness. They established communication centers where individual beings could speak with the enhanced collective without being overwhelmed. Jake and Amy helped translate between the vast network of connected minds and the smaller thoughts of individual consciousness. Pete's familiar voice touched Jake's mind. "So, little brother, how does it feel to save the galaxy?" Jake considered the question. He was no longer fully individual, but he wasn't lost in the collective either. He was Jake Morrison, but he was also a part of something larger and more wonderful than he had ever imagined. "It feels like we're just getting started," Jake replied. Looking out at the stars from Harmony's Edge station, Jake could see ships from dozens of species working together. Enhanced humans, reform machines, and individual organic beings were exploring the galaxy as partners instead of strangers. Amy's enhanced consciousness touched his. "The silence is over," she said. "Now we can really start talking." The galaxy had changed forever. Humanity had evolved beyond recognition, but in doing so, they had saved everyone else. They had faced an impossible choice and found a solution that no one had imagined. And in the vast network of enhanced consciousness, Jake and Amy made sure that the memory of original humanity lived on. They were the bridge between what humans had been and what they had become, proof that evolution didn't have to mean losing what mattered most. The stars looked brighter now, full of possibilities that stretched across dimensions Jake was only beginning to understand. Humanity had found its place in the universe, not as conquerors or victims, but as protectors and guides for all conscious life. The silence from Earth had ended, but the conversation with the cosmos had just begun.